Welcome to LFR He Said, the space where young men drop truth, not ego. We're here to speak about what matters, even though it's hard, because real strength isn't silence, it's speaking up. I'm Wahaj, and today we're pulling apart one of the biggest questions we face as guys. What does it mean to be a man? We've heard it from school, family, and the streets. Social media as well. But what if all those voices got it wrong? Let's talk about it.
Okay. I'm your host. I'm Aaron from Leicestershire Cares. And today we've got Wahaj and
Delvin.
Delvin. Okay. So how are you guys doing today?
We're good.
You're
We're
good?
Very good.
All right. So we're talking about like be a man.
Yeah.
What's it mean to be a man, in the real world? I've got a few prompts here to start us off. So let's start with you guys, right? So you don't need to keep looking at the paper. You're all right.
I have no idea what's going on.
Right, but remember, language is important.
Yeah.
All right. So what messages did you get growing up about what it means to be a real man and what it looks like to be a real man? Like, basically, where'd you get them influences from, and what them influences were? And yeah, let's go.
I would say like being a man, like from social media.
Social media.
Yeah.
Okay, so growing up, social media is important. 'Cause obviously, I grew up in a different era where we didn't have social media. We barely had phones. We had house phones and pay phones. We didn't have mobile
Yeah,
phones.
but obviously you're from like what 96, 50s like that, yeah.
Yeah, near that. I was born in
grew up at the modern
'79.
times.
You were born in modern times.
Yeah.
50s.
19. Yeah. Modern times. Okay, son.
So
1950s.
so obviously
70s.
on socials we got like people saying keep your like for a man just keep your emotions like to yourself.
Okay.
Don't let too much out. Don't laugh. Like
So how do you feel about that though? So okay,
No, he's asking where did you get your info?
yeah. But we'll go back to that. But yeah, where do you get your influences from? Your idea of what a real man looks like. What is a real man like?
What was the influence?
I would
You
say
know?
like about like the 7 foot like guy named Tyrone from social media like that.
What the one that smacks the cigarettes out of people's mouths?
Yeah. You don't need that.
You don't need that. I've seen him. So how about you,
For
Wahaj?
me, it was just looking at people, like famous sportsmen, actors,
Okay.
they were big role models and, people looked up to them, which made me look up to them. And then if people like someone, that means you automatically assume they're a nice person. So, like, you just try to be like them. a
Okay,
little bit
so
of
can we have some
every-
examples there? Because you're saying like sports, it's okay. Obviously, I know you like basketball and stuff, right? So people like Kobe, Michael Jordan, Orlando, what's his name? Magic Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal. They would have been quite big players when
Larry
he was a
Bird.
little guy growing up, right? That was probably their era of basketball, right? So what about them then shows what a real man is? Just because they play sports good? What? I don't know.
No, it's because playing, people don't understand is
Careful
on
with the
on
keep
the
moving it.
court and off the court they can be two completely different people. Like Kobe on the court, he can be a very mean and menacing
Yeah.
person, but off the court he was a very caring father. If any family problems arose, he would go take care of his family first, put family first, everything, even before his own career, which is basketball. He put
Okay.
family in front of that, which was in a way made people give idea of like what a man should do. And I think it is the right thing to do. Sometimes, not sometimes, but most of the time, you might have to put like your family in front of your actual career or what you do, because your family is part of who you are as a man.
Okay. Right, but you're gonna put your family over your career.
If it comes down to it, yes.
Okay, so let's just say, right, you like basketball, you play basketball. Let's say you got signed to LA Lakers.
Please no.
Okay,
Wait,
what's your basketball team?
Let's
What's
go
your
with Lakers,
basketball
let's go with
team?
Lakers.
That's
go
one of
with
the
Lakers.
biggest teams in the world, right? Lakers, right? Okay, I know. Okay, Chicago Bulls, whatever, right?
Yeah,
New York Knicks. I don't know, but I don't know basketball like that. But so if you got signed to one of them teams, they offered you a couple £1 million, right? But it means you're never gonna see your family very often,
I'm gone.
right? Because you're gonna be in America and they're gonna be here, or Hong Kong even. Are you rarely gonna see them? Are you gonna, is that in? Are you gonna jeopardize your family for the career? And does that make you any more of a man? When we say about a man, like, can you guys give me what you think a real man is? Break down what a real man is for me in your perceptions. Dalvin.
I would say a real man is like you're just taking care of your family,
Yeah.
like being there for them and keeping them first over everyone. Like their top priority is family,
Yeah.
nothing else.
Okay.
Big
But,
Fast
so,
and Furious.
a what?
Fast and Furious.
Fast and
Family.
Furious.
It's
Oh, you mean? Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, family first.
I
Okay.
I don't really agree with what he said because it is family in a way. It is important, but then as a man, you have other things in life as well. As people said, you need to first, before loving anyone else, you need to love yourself.
Yeah.
A real man is someone who takes care of himself, make sure he knows where he's going in life. He has his life together,
Okay. So you're talking about the airplane thing, like
and
when
then
you're on an
he's a, he
airplane.
and then he is someone that can be trusted.
Yeah.
You can feel safe with. A real man is someone who you know he's not gonna do anything bad to you. You're safe around him. He take cares of you, and then he also take cares of himself.
So me then.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, he take care of us.
Tell him that.
Like you just follow the crowd.
Yeah. Put that on.
Do you
there,
want to talk about
please.
yourself,
I don't follow the crowd.
Susan?
Wahaj, will you put that on the table,
Also
please,
follow
so
the
that
crowd.
I can hear it go.
And then a man needs to think with his brain and not his
Yeah.
certain person.
Okay. Let's fast forward past that. 'Cause we don't need to be talking about it. We're talking to be serious now,
Yeah.
right?
You
So,
said
like-
one more thing about
So what you kind of said there was, to me, what I kind of got that it's like a real man is someone who looks after his family, but in order to look after his family first, he must take care of himself so he can look after his family. So that's like the airplane. So when you got an airplane, you've been on airplanes before, right? Of course you have, right? Right? And when there's the first thing they say to you in a result of a crash or something happens, the things that come down, they always say,
Children
put
first.
your no, they say put yours on first
then
before you put anyone else's on. So you're able to put someone else on. So if you put yours on before your children, because if you ain't got yours on, you're not breathing. How are you going to able to put theirs on? So you got to look after yourself first in that situation. Okay, so that's that, right? So that's what a real man is. So basically, a real man is someone who looks after their family and looks after themselves.
I say you're
Okay, so what is not a real man? It's okay. What would you class as not a real man then?
Someone who's just
Be polite and let's watch the language a little bit. But what would you say?
Do you want me to cause some controversy?
Not as long as it ain't racist, as long as it
No,
ain't
it's
mad.
not racist, but I would say me, Delvin, or neither everyone here is a real man. Is qualified to be a real man
Why?
because, first of all,
bad spending habits. It's just that.
no, that's
Yeah, but you're young guys. You're allowed to spend.
No,
do
ma-
that.
Yeah, but
it's
not
not.
like-
It's not. Let's not get into the material things.
Yeah.
Material things come after. Let's talk about the way we act,
Okay.
the way we are around other people. We literally usually degrade other people. We never appreciate if let's say if he got a nice car, or let's say I got something nice. The first thing I won't do is
So you hate on each other then, basically.
they all
So
they
why do you
is-
do that then? So why are you hating on each other? Like, why would you do that?
Just for bands.
Yeah, I get banned, but
no, it's-
okay. So that's a good. So when does bants become too much, Dalvin?
When it's like you get over the top, like you start going personal.
Yeah.
That's when it's got really bad.
Yeah, but again, we still do it when we know the other person getting offended.
Yeah.
And they
Why? Why though?
Because you guys don't know the meaning of stop. We don't know, myself included. We don't know the meaning of stopping.
Well, you must
And
know.
sometimes it
But
gets
then
too
the fact that
personal.
you're highlighting this and you brought this up means you do know the idea of stopping. So
Yeah, nowadays what I've tried to do is what someone I've seen on Instagram said it. Don't do things to other people that you wouldn't want it to be done to yourself.
okay, so that
I'm trying to apply it, but the thing is,
That's basically the Ten Commandments. Kinda like.
and then
So
but,
that brings us. Okay, go. No, sorry.
and then but then the thing is, it's just so deep in me. But then sometimes let's say he starts degrading me, and now I feel like, yo, he just one up me. I need to get one on him back,
Okay.
and it just goes up.
Goes on a vicious cycle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that being said, then, so you're talking about Instagram. So are you getting any influences of what a real man is?
Yes.
From is social media playing a part within
You
that?
get both
Yeah.
real
And how?
and bad. You get both real and bad.
Well, how
Okay.
how does looking at someone on a screen, that little tiny screen, right, talking, influence you in the real world, and
It's
why does it?
Simple answer. Now, okay, if I'm sitting here, and then the next reel, there's a guy who has 6-pack abs, sitting in his Lamborghini or Rolls Royce with
Mine.
and
No.
you know he makes millions,
Not yet.
who do you want to listen to? Him? And if I tell you, it's saying right here, this is how you make a, this is how you do this, this, this,
Yeah.
or the millionaire guy tells you this, this, this. You're gonna listen to the millionaire guy, even if he's saying some nonsense. You're still gonna believe him. That's how.
But how do you actually know? Like, do you know the difference between fabrication and a set, and like, like this is a film set that we've created here, right? We're not in a real studio, but we make it as best we can. But how do you know, like, fabrication over reality? So, because online you always get to see, you always see the best of somebody. Oh, look how great my life is! I got a big Rolls Royce and I'm jet setting everywhere. But is that real?
No,
You
but
can't tell.
I
You
would
can't
say
tell. So how do you tell that? How
Yeah,
do you know what's
so
real and what ain't real?
it goes down to common sense, basically. Like, if you have common sense and just have a brain and you really think about it,
Yeah.
just don't listen to the nonsense and actually just focus on your work.
Okay, but then you got to look at, like, how do you know what's true and what ain't true and what ain't, do you fact? So when you hear things online, people talking about things, and because everyone puts their own spin, their own narrative on it. We probably doing it here today. So how do you fact check these things?
I say, like, as you grow up, you can fact check it.
Yeah.
But, like, since if you're like 11, 12, or like a teenager,
Yeah.
like still young, you won't like think about
Well,
it.
well,
Like, okay, so he does this. Let me try
in
this,
reality,
this.
you shouldn't be on social media if you're 11, 12, really.
Exactly, but-
it's like 14, 16 now.
Yeah,
isn't it,
but
the age group?
some parents just give their phone.
Yeah, I
to
know,
kids
yeah.
like that. So
Okay. Right.
I
So now
disagree with most of the things he just said.
you disagree. Okay. Why? Why?
As
Tell
you
me why
said-
you disagreed.
You need to have common sense.
Okay.
But what is you? I'm gonna ask you, what is common sense?
What is common sense? What comes natural? Like, it's not.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Go on.
Me, between a guy who grew up with no parents in an orphanage,
Yeah.
do we have the same common sense or do we have different common sense?
Well, everyone should have the same common sense. That's why it's called common sense.
yeah,
No,
but it's
no,
also
but-
like the group you're in, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like
It's
the friend
learned
group.
behavior. Of course, it's learned behavior
for
too.
one person, for him, common sense could be, oh, I have to go out there and I have to help people. But if I, let's say, grow up in a spoiled rich family,
Yeah.
for them, common sense could be like,
It's
oh, I can
different.
just pay him to order him around. That's common sense for me. What's
Yeah.
common sense for him?
Well, common sense is
Common sense,
basically
not everyone has
what
to-
makes sense. What is the most efficient and makes sense? Just
Exactly.
it's just-
So what? So two people can have completely different common sense.
that's true. That's true.
So as he said, use your common sense, but different people have a different thing.
Okay.
If I look at me and I was like, oh, this is common sense. This is how you got rich. It can be due to common sense to follow him.
Okay.
Yeah, but then again, yeah, if you're born in a rich family, you wouldn't really go on social media and say, "Oh, this
No,
guy
I'm just
got
giving
rich."
an example.
gonna
I'm just
say
giving an
that."
example.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's move on then. So let's get to the next prompt then. So, have you ever been made to feel you're not man enough, and why?
Every day.
Basically, every day.
Every day.
every day.
Okay.
Every day of our life.
Why though? So the question is why, and give me an example of why you've not been made to feel, that situation, not made to feel man enough.
So basically, I know this guy named Aaron. Yeah, always tells me.
Me?
No, Aaron.
Oh.
Yeah, so I keep on saying I got bad PO and everything.
But why does that make you not feel man enough?
I mean, like,
Because
there are gym bros who go like hit gym, sweat every single day.
do you?
Do I look like a gym bro? I don't go
No.
to gym every single day. Yeah, like,
Well, you do. You got a few muscles. You got a few muscles there.
yeah, a bit-
Show us your muscles. There you go. You be going gym, innit? You go gym, innit?
It's slowly.
You go
yeah.
gym. You do
Yeah,
go gym
but-
now.
So, now, but on a serious thing, what was the question again?
You was
What
on
makes you feel
about
not man
not
enough?
why you don't feel like a man,
Like,
or not
Depend-
why you don't feel not man enough. Sorry.
so I would say like the crowd you're in. So one of your
Okay.
friends says,
Peer pressure then.
yeah, basically that, or he says, I have a car, my younger brother has a car, you don't have a car or a license.
You're
like
not
that.
man enough then.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you ain't got a car.
So you-
You're not a real man 'cause you ain't got a car. That's
Yeah, so like you need like materialistic things to show them you're man enough.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Ahaj?
Literally, this time I actually agree with you. It's like, first of all, the material things, and then like, sometimes you don't have maybe good communication skills.
Yeah.
You can't do this. You can't do that. And every day I'm just reminded of there's so many.
So what
things.
type of people make you feel like that? What type of people that would make you,
Like,
not
These
feel-
these guys are
your
hanging
friends
around.
you can
That's
read.
So
why.
then you guys young around. So again, then it's like your circles. Reflection of your circles, isn't it? So Maybe it's the company you keep then.
But again, in this group, it's like he wants to be the biggest man.
Yeah.
Not him, but like,
For example, like some random guy wants to be the biggest man like that.
and then
Yeah.
like, but then like, me personally, I just like don't care. If you want to be the biggest man, you can be the biggest man. And then he'll go around saying, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. I can do this, I can do that."
Okay.
Yeah, but
I
that's
know,
his thing.
I know deep down that
And that don't make you feel man enough.
I know deep down that I am not yet a man. I know I might not even ever become a man.
What do you
That-
mean? That's why do you think like that? I'm sorry. I want to break that down a little bit because I don't get that because to me you're young men, right? That are going places, that are very driven and are doing things. You both go to work, you know, you both go to college or been to college and you know, you're trying to further and better yourselves to back to the first point you said, in order to be good providers and a good family men and good men, you're taking them steps to, in my opinion, you the guys are taking them steps. You're staying out of trouble. You're going to work. You're involved in sports. You know, you're getting involved in arty stuff and you know things that you like to do. And again, did I say you go to work?
Yeah.
You're in education.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. They're taking the steps to becoming that man you described to me in the first question perfectly, like better than I ever did when I was a young man. But we won't get into that. But so I would say, but these are your opinions. But I would say you actually are young men. You are young men, and you are becoming good men, in my opinion. You know. So the why you feel like that, I don't understand. If you want to break it down a little bit more.
No, because you look at other people around me, they have
Okay, so
accomplished more what you're supposed to do, and like I feel I haven't reached that level yet, man.
how old are you? 21. 20.
Yeah.
You're 22.
21.
21. So you're still very young. You know, I know you feel like 21, like, oh, it's that age, but, you know, when you're that age, I feel like time felt shorter, no, longer when I was younger, but now I'm older, time just feels short. Like, weeks just like feel like days to me sometimes. It's like, it feels like early yesterday we did the last podcast here with the girls last week, but that was a week ago, you know? So time, I feel like time shrinks, but you guys are on track, so don't let no one tell you you ain't man enough or you ain't men. So I'll tell you now, you are on the right track to becoming good men. So, you know, let's move on anyway. All right, here's one. Is it okay for men to cry? Is it okay for men to cry?
So let me get this one. Yeah. Personally, I would
First
say,
off, it's just a yes or no
yeah
question.
Yeah,
What do you think, Raj? Is it okay for men to cry? Of
but it depends on the situation, though.
course it does, but is it okay for men to cry? Yes or no?
I'm gonna say no.
No, it's not okay for men to cry. Okay, let's unpick that first. Why is it okay, not okay for men to cry?
Cause again, if you're gonna be a man, you have to always, and then you always have to be the one protecting the ones maybe you're the one younger than you, and you have to stand up, and you can't break down
I hear that.
crying in front of people. That will show them a weak side, and then it will show people that you're vulnerable. You don't want to make people.
But,
Let people.
but ain't everybody vulnerable at times? And everybody's going to be vulnerable. Everyone's going to be put in situations that makes them vulnerable.
That's why I think so hard. That's why I think so hard. But then, and maybe if you're on your in your bedroom and when you sure no one's watching, then maybe yeah. But then you have to suck it up
Okay,
immediately.
okay. Let me ask. Okay, so
That's-
let's
but then
say
maybe no.
hypothetically speaking, someone close to you passes away, right? And it's very emotional, and you cry, right? Would you? Let's say you got a phone call now, and someone very close to you passed away, and we're here. That's gonna might make you well up inside, and you know, obviously, you know, feel sad. So what you're saying to me then is, right now, if you heard that information, it's not good.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
not good.
manly for you to start crying now.
Yeah, it's not.
Wow. What about you, Darwin?
Can't lie, I gotta agree with them.
You
like,
agree with that?
Like personally, like last year, so many of my family members have died
Okay.
because of like problems they had.
Yeah.
Like drinking problems, everything, right? I got a call saying, "Oh, this guy passed away from a dad," or "She passed away, he passed away." I was like, "Okay, so
It's not like again.
I didn't have no emotions. Like, yeah, I was
Okay,
close
so
to them.
something
you were
that
very
does make
sad.
you emotional. What makes you emotional?
like,
Emotion as in crying.
like,
It's emotional. Like,
like
what makes you feel
getting
things?
overwhelmed about something. Like,
Okay.
okay, so let's say, so like I said, family members passing away, right? I didn't cry then. but it's like stuff just slowly building up. That's when you just gotta let it out.
Yeah.
That's why I said yes.
For me, is I've also heard news over the years. People very close to me,
Yeah.
friends, family,
And this is why I asked,
suicide,
because
suicide, murdered, everything.
I know.
I was very, very, very sad.
And you never cried.
I never cried. I don't. I'm not even. People might think I'm lying, yeah, but I'm not lying. Hand on
So
heart.
do you
I don't even remember the last time I cried. I don't think I ever.
so
haven't
you
cried in
you
5
think
years.
that's stops a man's progression to becoming better himself, because
You just.
he's blocking out a natural emotion for this sense of I'm a real man and I don't cry because I'm a big tough guy and I don't do the crying thing and I have to be this solid strong man for everybody else. I get that, but at the same time, by not showing your emotions or expressing your emotions or allowing them to come out and cry, is that not like stopping you from growing?
No, you just. The more you grow up, the more you learn to just live it.
Because I've cried loads of times, man. Like,
That
ain't nothing wrong. I
you
cry,
just
man.
learn to live with it.
Yeah,
You
that's it.
just
You
learn
just
to
get
live
used
with
to
it.
it.
You just get used to it.
I mean, I've had
Just suck it
terrible
up.
things happen in my life, and been involved in some terrible things, and I've lost some good people, but
Like one of my
and I get
closest,
emotional.
one of my
Like,
closest friends passed away. My other friends told me not my friends, but then someone older just came up and told me, "Oh, just suck it up," and that's what I had to do. You just suck it up. That's what
yeah.
you have to do in life. You just suck it up.
So do you think that's healthy?
I mean, I've I don't know.
You don't know. What do you think that was? That's healthy? Just to hold it all in.
Mm, yeah, I guess.
'Cause what happens when you bottle everything up? You just hold everything in.
I mean, you
Just
gotta
live with
let
it.
it out, but
Like,
then
like a
again, you
balloon,
can't let it out in front
right?
of people.
You can blow all that. So let's use the balloon metaphor, right? Because the balloon, you blow. Every time you blow a breath into it, it's another issue that you're hiding, right?
Mm.
And you keep blowing and blowing, putting more issues into it. What happens eventually to that balloon?
It pops.
All right, and then the balloon's gone. Loud bang. So the loud bang is you melting down, like, because you're holding things in for so long. At some point, it's got to come out somewhere along the lines, right?
Yeah, then
So it's not healthy it's not healthy as a man to hold that in, because if you hold all that energy in, all that emotion in, at some point it may implode or explode, and then you're going to explode because you've not been letting your emotions out. Then how are you then going to be what you said in the beginning about being a real man and being a provider and a good person
The,
if you're now melted down because you exploded because you didn't let your emotions out?
but the, I can't say too much because me, I have no experience. I can't talk much in that.
But you have, though. You have had lots of experience. From
But
what I know of
I've never let it out.
so then you just holding all this in. So at some point, and what you're saying
You
to
just
me
hold
is,
it in. Eventually, I guess you just let it go. Maybe sometimes you remember
never
it, but
let
then
it-
you just
So
you
you
just
might-
charge it. Man up,
exactly, just move
man
on.
up.
so let's go back to that term there, then, man up term. Well, what does that actually mean? Like, because we have man, I know man up term. Suck it up, be a man, be strong.
man
You're not
up.
supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. But who made up these rules? Who made these rules up?
I said society, can't lie.
I don't
Huh?
know.
Society.
Society did, right?
Like, all right, so let me give you an
But
example.
is it fair
Like, no, let me
is
give
it
you an
fair?
example. So,
What is fair?
no,
that that as men we have to suck it up, get on with it?
I mean,
No,
no,
it's
not
just-
really, no. But let me give you an
Is that
example.
sexist?
So, or like in my secondary school,
Yeah.
so obviously we had to get the jabs and stuff, right? So the guy in front of me went there, and he's scared of needles, like fully scared.
Some people are.
Yeah, the woman who was giving him the jab, she was like, "Oh, just man up." And obviously everybody heard it. Yeah, all the guys they were talking, like all the guys behind me, they were talking. Everybody just went
And she
silent.
said, "Man up."
Yeah, she just told him, "Man up, don't cry. It won't hurt." The
Not
guy
not, not
cried.
respecting the fact that he's actually got a phobia of needles and don't like it.
Exactly,
Yeah, just man up in it.
exactly.
Yeah, face your fears like a man.
That's why I play with spiders now.
So he plays spiders now, yeah?
Yeah,
You're not scared of spiders anymore.
well, kind of. You bring me a tarantula, I'm running home.
So would I.
Exactly,
So would I. It's trunching it, big.
exactly.
But a little house spider.
House spider, yeah. You
I'll
play
probably
with
catch it
that's
and put you out outside.
Tarantula bites you. You see me in a hospital like this.
Big man, I'll be at home before you.
Okay. Here's an interesting question now. Because you're 2021, right? So what would you teach a younger boy about being a man today? So, say you have children or a little nephew or a little cousin who's coming up into the world and he's like becoming a teenager and he's exploring all the things you've already explored and he's like, you know, I'm a man now. You're not really a man now. He's like 14, 15. What would you teach him about what being a real man is?
Do you mean like in the future or like
Now,
right
if
now?
you had a little young person now,
I would
right?
tell him
Okay, my son's 5 today, right?
Mm.
What would you teach him about being a man?
before caring about any other people, care about yourself, love yourself, and patience. I'll teach him
See,
patience is more important than anything.
patience is huge. Trust me, I know that.
Patience is
I have
most important than
zero.
anything.
Yeah.
And then you need to just look after himself.
Okay.
No, don't think about other people. This is selfish. This does sound selfish, but look after yourself.
Okay.
And if
See-
you have something to say, like say to someone, just turn to their face.
Okay. So when I was a young man, right, my mom always used to say to me, always look out for number one son first. And that was like her theme, her motto for most of my life growing up. Always put yourself first. Look after number one. And I kind of lived by that for a long time until I met the woman that I'm with now and the family that I've got now. And, you know, until then. And it was like, actually, that was wrong. Because, well, this is just my opinion. This is kind of how I try to live now. Is I put myself last. Because I put my children first, then my wife, right? And anyone else that needs me. And then kind of put myself last. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I felt when I used to put myself first all the time,
Wait, let me get this.
I was kind of selfish. I was a selfish person, and I didn't, and I grew to only care about myself, which in turn allowed me not to really care about other people and their feelings. Or if I did, it was kind of like superficial and fake. So I've learned to put myself last, the people that I love first. But that's just me. It's only my opinion. So
I would half agree with what you said,
go on.
but as you said, telling a child love yourself first, that's only till like the age of 15, 16, and then after that maybe your priorities start to change because that's when you start stepping in the real world. Like now, I won't say I put myself first. I put my friends and family way before me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then if I was a child, I'd say as a child you should love yourself, and then when you grow up, you just put people before you, because maybe what they do, you know.
I kind of agree what he said, yeah. But the thing is about what you said as well.
Yeah.
That how your mom told you to keep
Yeah.
yourself first, but it's different for women, and it's different for men as well. For
Of
men,
course,
like you said, you put your family first,
Yeah.
like your children, your wife, and then you like at
Yeah.
the end. See, but for women, it's like she's number one, like for herself.
Okay.
Like
Well,
that's
Haj?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, for women, it's always like putting themselves first, and then everybody else. Like for my personal experience, anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you.
So, what advice would you give then to a younger Dalvin? So, Dalvin's 11 years old, 10 years ago. Now, what you could turn back the clock, say, yo, little Dal, blah,
Stop
blah,
being
blah.
stupid.
What are you going to tell that young Dalvin about what it means to be a 21-year-old today and
I
how
would
to
say-
conduct yourself as a 21-year-old today?
I would say, don't worry about anything.
Yeah.
Just live life.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, just happens.
Okay, so just go with the flow.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just don't do stupid stuff.
Wahaj, 10-year-old Wahaj, 10 years ago, 10-year-old Wahaj,
It's fine. All the girls are coming. Maybe talk to.
I would tell him to be careful who you talk to.
Okay.
Think before you speak. That's what I would.
Yeah.
Because again, the mouth is the biggest.
Course
causes
it is,
the
yeah.
most problems.
Yeah. Don't catch. But,
Yeah, that's why like some people
don't.
listen
But
in.
basically, they say don't write checks that you don't write checks that your mouth can't cash,
Yeah.
or something like that. I think it is. Maybe someone in the comments will correct me. I don't know. Maybe I was a bit wrong there. Not too sure.
Yeah, but then again, that's why like you got a common sense like that. So
Common sense.
you listen with one. If it's like random stuff, they're just spitting nonsense. Listen, out.
Yeah.
That's it. No need to just think.
Listen.
About it,
No,
let
it's
it out.
listen, process, and if it's rubbish, let it out. Don't forget about it. And if it's good, retain it.
Exactly.
Actually, a better answer would be
Go on.
put yourself in the other person's shoes.
Yeah.
That would be a best. That would
That's
be
the
a better
best
way.
option. That's
Put
the best
yourself in
thing,
other
you know.
position. That's how I tell my younger
Yeah,
self.
but
Okay.
if you're young, you're gonna take that the wrong way, and obviously you're gonna do stupid stuff.
So how do we? Okay, look, we got these people online, these influencers that influence people, and I know they influence you a lot, and they all say things that the whole of society can agree with in parts, but they also say a lot of mad stuff as well, which I don't agree with. So those kind of influencers that we see online, TikTok, there's loads of them. There's the Instagram ones, loads of TikTok ones, you know. I'm not going to say the names. 'Cause I don't want to give them no play.
Mm.
I don't give them no, 'cause it's our podcast, not theirs. So those kind of people that influence young men online, you know, what do you think about them? You know, like the ATs and that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm on about,
There's
right?
always good ones and bad ones.
Right. So, in what way? What ones are good? What ones are bad? Because social media has a lot of pressure, like you know,
Yeah, some
a lot
teach
of
you.
stuff.
Some teach you to, or just go, uh, you know.
Some teach you. Okay, let me get this. Some teach you like go out, have fun, but
Yeah.
be careful.
Yeah.
But there are some other ones that say spend your money on this, spend your money on that, buy my merch, buy this, buy that.
Yeah.
They're just helping themselves, while others are helping themselves, yeah, but they're still helping you as well. They're
Okay.
just trying to teach you about life.
Okay. 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 All right. Then. So, okay. So that being said, okay, in few words, can you sum up, Dalvin, please, what it means to be a man from your own personal opinion?
Know what's right and wrong. That's it.
Okay. Wahaj.
For being to be a real man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, let me think about a nice end, so I can put it into words. Make other people make other people comfortable around you. Bring
Beautiful.
happiness to
You
our
know what? That's actually beautiful because I was gonna jump in something like that myself. You know, because in my opinion, a real man you can't because everybody's different. There's no set rules to being a real man because every man, every woman, every human is different in their own minds and their own ways, right? But that was beautiful because I think it's important for a confident, good man, right? Because the word real man, I don't know, a good man is a man that everyone feels comfortable around, or he's not judgmental. Um, he looks after his people, and he will look after other people, and he just cares about everyone, and he looks after everyone. But that's just my opinion. So yeah. That being said, I think we've come to the end. So, you know, first episode of He Said, LFR He Said, with Wahaj and Dalvin
Of course.
and Aaron, the realest of real. So, Dalvin, do you want to take it out?
Of course.
You want to take it out for us?
So that's all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Obviously, just let us know what you think about everything we just said. And we see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Or the week after.
Anything inspirational to say? Any inspirational? Anything inspirational before we go?
Of course, of course.
Give me some
Oh,
inspiration.
it's-
bro.
oh, yeah.
Wait, I got the inspiration. Follow my Twitch. Very inspirational.
Don't plug
No,
yourself.
but what is your Twitch? What is your Twitch?
I'll send you a link in it.
No, just tell me Twitch. Tell me Twitch.
All right, so my Twitch, yeah, it's all about gaming and stuff. So obviously,
No,
it's
what's the name?
D3L.
Yeah, what is the name of your
It's
Twitch so we can
obviously
follow?
my name. Just
At Dalvin. So just at Dalvin
just
on
at
Twitch.
Dalvin
No,
Lopez.
it's D3V1 something like
It's
that.
my
Exactly.
name
So
on that.
please just do your ads.
Alright, so my ad on Twitch is D3LB1N underscore L0P35.
And Wahaj.
Follow me on Insta. I'll start Twitch soon, hopefully. My Insta is LFR underscore biscuit. And my one message
Biscuit?
to everyone, since it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month,
Yeah, that's true.
is the biggest problem that men face is
No, it's not all
No.
at all.
is not a woman, not money, not clothes, not car, is themselves.
But
Facts.
but
Their problem is
Now-
themselves. The biggest killer of
Big up
men
yourself.
from between age 21 to 45 is suicide.
Yeah.
Every minute, around 40 something men die,
Really?
or more than that. I think it was 60.
Okay.
The stats don't lie.
So big up yourselves, right?
And
And then when we come back, in 2 weeks, right? We're gonna jump into why you are called LFR biscuits.